Hello everyone, myself Deepa Singh, working as assistant professor in Gyan Vihara School of Pharmacy, SGV Jaipur. Today we discuss about pharmacokinetic models or different pharmacokinetic models. We already studied this model in previous lecture, but we don't cover all the models. So in this lecture, we continue remaining pharmacokinetic model or compartmental model in this lecture. So this is a topic of biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetic subject, 6th semester subject. Before starting this model or this topic, you should know about the basic object or learning object of this topic. In this learning object for introduction of a pharmacokinetic model. So what are the pharmacokinetic model? There are different parameters, types of a compartmental model, different pharmacokinetic compartmental model. So these are the learning object or some basic object which is required to know about this topic, including both compartmental and non-compartmental model, including introduction and description of this compartmental model, because the previous lecture we already covered this part of this modeling of pharmacokinetic parameter, including dynamic parameter as well. And there were different terms that we use for pharmacodynamic and kinematic parameter. So this is a learning object. And in overview, mainly we discuss about basic consideration in a pharmacokinetic compartmental model. In this, first is a pharmacokinetic. This we before starting pharmacokinetic model, we should know about different pharmacokinetic model and different parameter that we use in pharmacokinetic model, or those parameters which are responsible for this model, including pharmacokinetic as well as dynamic parameter. So in this pharmacokinetic parameter, first most important parameter or first parameter for this, for checking the viability or checking the viable dose of particular drug. In this, first is the peak plasma concentration or Cmax, means this peak plasma concentration is also known as Cmax. And in this, the point at which maximum concentration of a drug in unit is micro per ml or mg per ml. Means this Cmax or peak plasma concentration is a point or concentration where maximum concentration is observed or maximum drug present in your plasma or peak is observed in peak plasma concentration. And unit of this is Cmax and peak plasma concentration is mg per ml. Means suppose you are taking 500 mg and required complete therapeutic effect is produced at particular point and maximum concentration is observed in your plasma. So this point is known as the peak plasma concentration, or unit of this is mg per ml. And next in this, peak concentration related to intensity of pharmacological response, means these peak is show the how intensity of that particular drug or intensity of a drug and pharmacological response, or to show the pharmacological response. Mean intensity of a drug or intensity of a formulation to show the particular pharmacological desired effect. It should be above MEC, means maximum effective concentration, but less than MSC, maximum safe concentration, between the both minimum as well as maximum concentration. Minimum effective concentration is the starting point of your concentration or showing effect of pharmacological response. And MS is the maximum safe concentration, means this is the maximum effect or therapeutic effect at a safe range, and above this range it may be show some toxic or some unwanted effects. So this peak plasma concentration at Cmax is the between ratio or between from MEC and MSC. And in this next is the peak level depend on administration dose and rate of absorption and elimination. Means this peak formation or peak level is depend on different parameter and different factor. In this, administration dose and rate of absorption or elimination rate, which type of drug you administered or how much dose you administered, as well as rate of absorption as well as elimination also. Means how much dose you administered, 500 mg, 600 mg, or which route you use for this administration, or after administration, and you can check absorption as well as elimination rate. These two rate is also very important and show the effect on the pharmacological parameter of the Cmax. So this is also two important parameter which is related to absorption as well as elimination also. So this is a Cmax or peak plasma concentration. Next is time of peak concentration or Tmax. This is a depend on this Cmax. You can say it is similar. In this, you check how much time is required or maximum time required to show the maximum effect. or maximum concentration of the drug in the plasma. So the time for the drug to reach a peak concentration in plasma is after extravascular administration. Suppose you are taking a drug by extravascular route other than parenteral or IV route, then in this you check how much drug is available or to show the effect, and after that maximum concentration, how much time is required for particular plasma concentration or for particular drug. So in this you check the plasma concentration, time required to reach the peak of plasma or maximum time concentration. In this, after extravascular administration, means this is you check for maybe extravascular route or other than parenteral or IV route. And unit for this peak plasma concentration is R. Means how much time or how much R time is required for particular effect or maximum effect of your drug or peak of your drug. Next, in this useful in estimation, onset of action and area of absorption. Means the next step is with the help of this peak, you can also check or estimate onset of action or effect of a drug or rate of absorption, how much drug is absorbed or which is the onset or how much onset of action which takes place in this. Next, in this important in assessing the efficacy of a single dose drug used to treat acute condition, means like pain and insomnia. Means other than these onset of action and rate of absorption, it is also used for different parameters. In this, you include maybe some assessing the efficacy of a single dose, or you can check the required dose of a single formulation or single drug. And I used to treat some condition or acute condition. In this condition, mainly they include pain or insomnia like condition. So with the help of this Tmax, you can also calculate maximum time required or some dosage show the onset of action or taking the absorption effect. And with the help of this absorption and onset of action effect, you can check the efficacy of that particular single dose drug or particular formulation. And these type of drug mainly you study like acute conditions like pain or insomnia like drug. So this is the Tmax. Next is the area under curve. It is the next parameter, pharmacokinetic parameter, and this AUC is a area under the curve, and it is also one parameter of pharmacokinetic parameter. And in this AUC, it represents the total integrated area under the plasma level time profile. Means this is AUC is the integral or integrated total area or total curve or forming the peak of that curve that require to form the maximum effect from Tmax time. And in this, that peak formation or maximum peak formation of the plasma level is known as time profile, and express the total amount of the drug. Means how much total amount drug you take or it comes in a systemic circulation after the administration. So this time curve or AUC or under area under the curve is represent the how much total amount of the drug comes in your systemic circulation after administration. Suppose you are taking a tablet, and after taking that particular tablet, you can see that how much drug is reached in systemic circulation after administration, or total amount of your drug that is present in your tablet, and you compare this total amount with your drug present in your systemic circulation. So the maximum effect or maximum drug concentration present in systemic circulation show the one peak or one graph in your this plot, concentration versus time. So this peak is known as area under the curve or AUC, and unit of this AUC is μg per ml into XRs. Means how much time is required to show the effect of particular drug, and μg per ml, and represent the extent of absorption, evaluating the viability of a drug from its dosage form. In this area under the curve, mainly we are checking the how much drug present in systemic circulation or available in plasma. So this parameter is also represent or used to check the viability of a drug or how much drug is available in your body in a dosage form or after administration and into your body. And next is important for drug administration repetitively for treatment of chronic condition like asthma and epilepsy. This area under the curve also gives the study or information regarding the drug administered repetitively, or you are using a drug in a multiple dose or multiple time for chronic condition. Example is asthma and epilepsy. In this condition or both type of disease, you use multiple dose or administered repetitively or multiple times when some condition is observed, or you are suffering some asthma or severe asthma or epilepsy again and again. So this is for repetitively treatment or repetitive use of the drug and type of use this AUC curve. Next is pharmacodynamic parameter. And pharmacodynamic parameter, first is this is the condition or effect where concentration of the drug at start or show the effect. And in this minimum concentration of drug in plasma receptor site required to produce the therapeutic effect, means how much time how much drug is required to show the therapeutic effect, or initial stage of your drug which start the showing the effect of that therapeutic response. So this is the minimum concentration or starting point of the drug that starts showing effect in your plasma or with your receptor at particular site or produce the therapeutic effect. And in this concentration below MEC is known as therapeutic level, means below this MEC there is one level also, and this level is known as subtherapeutic level below this MEC. And in this example is antibiotic type of the drug. After this minimum effective concentration, next parameter is maximum safe concentration. It comes after the minimum effect concentration or just after the minimum effective concentration, because there's a one level which is a subtherapeutic level. It is below the minimum effective concentration or below the MEC, and after this MEC there's a next level which have a more concentration or more drug present in your plasma or in your body. This is known as maximum safe concentration. So in this, there's a more amount of a drug present or safe concentration is present. Above this, there may be toxic or unwanted effect is produced. So these are the three level, and in this maximum safe concentration, the concentration in plasma above which adverse or unwanted effect are precipitated. We already say that this is the last level, or you can say the safe level in which a more therapeutic or almost complete therapeutic effect is observed because of the maximum safe concentration. If your drug is still showing a more effect after this maximum safe concentration or after MSC, then there may be chances that it shows some unwanted or adverse effect which is not suitable for your body, because it reaches to maximum safe effect. After this, your drug showing excessive effect which is not required for your body. So this is maybe toxic level, or about this so some unwanted or toxic effect are produced. So this is the MSC or maximum safe concentration for pharmacodynamic parameter. In pharmacodynamic parameter, next is the onset time. In the onset time required to start producing pharmacological response, time for plasma concentration to reach MEC after administration drug. Onset of the time means how much time is required to start producing pharmacological effect or pharmacological response. It is a time required to start producing that therapeutic or pharmacological desired effect, and this time plasma concentration to reach MEC after administering the drug. Means you can say that this is a concentration or time required for plasma concentration after administering the drug, or after when you administer the required amount of the drug. So this is also an amount of a drug that you administered in your body, or after administration it shows some pharmacological response, and you check this response that after administration of the drug. Next is onset of action. Previous one is the time, means in this you're checking the time or how much time is required for showing that desired effect or pharmacological effect. Next is the onset of action, means how action is produced or how pharmacological response is observed by particular drug. In the onset of action, the beginning of a pharmacological response and starting of your therapeutic or desired pharmacological response is known as onset of action. And in this is occur when the plasma drug concentration just exceed the required MEC. So this onset of action is the concentration in which your plasma concentration just exceed or just reaches to required MEC or minimum effective concentration. So after MEC or minimum effective concentration, this onset of action is observed or the plasma concentration just exceed. And in this duration of action, you easily understand duration means time interval or time required for showing the effect. So in duration of action, time required, time period for which drug concentration of drug remain above MEC level, means after MEC or minimum effective concentration, some pharmacological response is produced and drug present in a plasma concentration, and this time required to show the effect, which is above the MEC, is known as duration of action, or how much time is required for show the effect. Next is intensity of the action. And intensity of action is the minimum pharmacological response produced by peak plasma concentration of a drug. Means it is a response or minimum pharmacological response which helps to form the peak of the plasma or peak plasma concentration per graph. It is a minimum concentration of therapeutic effect or pharmacological response showing drug. And next is therapeutic range. In therapeutic range, the drug concentration between MEC and MEC is known as therapeutic range. Means therapeutic range is nothing but the graph or concentration between the minimum effective concentration or maximum safe concentration. So this range is known as therapeutic range. So these are the pharmacodynamic parameter. Next is the concept of half-life. In the half-life, how much time is taken for blood level of the drug to decrease a half of what it is equilibrium, means how much time is required to show the half effect or decrease for the half. And there's two kind of parameter for this half-life. One is distribution half-life, second is elimination half-life. In plasma level fall to half, they may be equilibrated due to distribution, due to storage in your body tissue reservoir. And next is elimination half-life. In this, when plasma level falls to half, what they were equilibrated due to their being metabolized and eliminated is known as elimination half-life. And it is usually eliminated half-life that is used for determining dosing in a schedule to decide when it's safe to put patient on a new drug. So this is the concept of the half-life. Next, we come in pharmacokinetic model part and pharmacokinetic model or compartment. In this, a model is a mathematical description of a biological system and it's used to express quantitative relationship. Means in mathematically or with the mathematical representation, a biological system used to express a quantitative relationship or some information regarding the particular drug is known as that model. And compartment is the group of tissue with similar blood flow and drug affinity. Means compartment is nothing but a group of tissue or body parts of it. Tissue in this these tissue have a same blood flow and same drug affinity as also. So if that particular tissue have a same blood flow and same drug affinity, then it is known as compartment. And the compartment is the area physiological anatomical region. And this compartment is also is not an area of your physiological anatomy of your region of your body. And in this pharmacokinetic model are the hypothetical structure used to describe the effect of the drug in a biological system following its administration. Means after administration drug or after taking the drug, some hypothetical structure are used to describe your drug or describe the effect of your drug or effect of your drug in biological system or in your body is the pharmacokinetic model. These are the pharmacokinetic model. These are majorly divided into three categories: compartmental model, non-compartmental model, and physiological model. In compartmental model is again divided into three types: quaternary model, mammillary model. We already covered this two model, and this mammillary model is again divided into three categories. These models we discuss in this lecture: one compartment, multi-compartment, and two compartment. One compartment is IV bolus, IV infusion, and multiple dose. In multi-compartment, it is a single dose or intermediate IV infusion. Next is two compartment. It is again same IV bolus or oral drug. And non-compartmental model is AUC, MRT, MAT, SEL, and VSS. These are the parameters that we study in non-compartmental model. Next is the physiological model. So some we already discussed in previous lecture. In this lecture, we continue this remaining models. Pharmacokinetic model, mean of expressing pharmacokinetically or quantitatively time course of the drug throughout the body and complete meaningful pharmacokinetic parameter. Means this pharmacokinetic model is nothing but some equation or mathematical quantitative equation or response that give the time course of a drug or time response of the drug to a particular time for your body or complete meaningful pharmacokinetic parameter. With the help of this model or with the help of this type of mathematical quantitative equation, we will see good amount of information or complete meaningful response of a pharmacokinetic parameter, and useful in characterize the behavior of a drug in the patient. If you are checking the behavior of your drug in particular patient, you can use this pharmacokinetic model. So when we see the useful or advantages of this model is to characterize the behavior of a drug in patient. If you are checking the particular response of that particular drug in patient, and predicting concentration of a drug in various body fluids with dosage regimen, means for suppose you are studying 2 to 3 drugs and you are just predicting the difference or comparing these 2 to 3 drugs. So in this condition, you use these pharmacokinetic model for checking various dosage regimen or the response of the drug. Next is calculating optimal dosage regimen for individual patient. Means if you are checking the dosage regimen or dose required, how many doses is equal or how much dose is sufficient for that particular patient according to their body weight. Means for calculating the amount of drug or dose of the drug, you can also use this pharmacokinetic parameter. And next is evaluating bioequivalent between different formulation. Suppose you are formulating some generic drug or maybe branded drug. And branded drug is difficult, but in case of a generic drug, suppose you are comparing and there's you using 2 or 3 formulation or more than 1 formulation, then you just compare these formulation bioequivalent efficacy between these different formulation, they are equivalent or not with each other. So in condition of checking bioequivalency, you can use this pharmacokinetic model. Next is explaining drug interaction. If you are using 2 drugs, there may be chances that their drug interaction takes place with this drug. So you can observe these drug interaction with the help of this pharmacokinetic model also. And in this pharmacokinetic model are hypothetical structure that are used to describe the fate of the drug in biological system following its administration. After administration, the fate of the drug in biological system is also checked with the help of this pharmacokinetic model and mathematical representation of the data, and it is just hypothetical. Next is why the model is used and why these models are the good for different study. In this, there are 3 main reasons due to the data is subjected to modeling. These are the 3 reasons. In this descriptive may in this describe the drug kinetics in simply way. Means in out of 3 data, there's one is destructive, and this easily describe the kinetic or simplify the kinetic equation of your drug or your formulation. Next is predictive. In predictive, predict the time course of the drug after multiple dosing based or single data to predict the absorption profile of the drug from IV data. Means not only describing the drug, but also predict your drug or your formulation. If you are using multiple dose or you are using single dose, then you usually predict this type of a drug or formulation, and to predict the absorption profile of the drug from IV dose. Next is explanatory. In this, to explain the unclear operation observation. Means these models have 3 benefits or 3 advantages. One is descriptive, second is predictive, then explanatory describe the kinetic and predict the more than 1 or multiple doses regimen of a drug or explain the unclear observation. Next is the pharmacokinetic modeling is useful in prediction of the drug in plasma, tissue, urine at any point of the time. Means this model is not only available to show the concentration in a specific body part, but it also gives the clearance or elimination rate information also. And this elimination rate, it gives the information regarding the plasma, tissue, or urine, or any other point of the time, or any other point of the body parts. And next is determination of optimum dosage regimen for each patient. Means if we are using different patient or group of a patient, in this pharmacokinetic model give the correct information of each and every individual patient or every patient. Next is estimation of a possible accumulation of a drug metabolites. If any accumulation is done or present in your body or show the accumulation of a drug or metabolites, then in this condition you can also check these accumulation or estimate these accumulation of the drug in your body. Next is quantitative assessment of the effect of a disease on drug ADME, means how much quantitative effect is observed or quantity or particular effect of the drug that particular disease is also checked with the help of this ADME, absorption, metabolism, distribution and elimination parameter. Next is the correlation of a drug concentration with pharmacological activity. Not only these parameters are sufficient, but it is also helps to correlate the different pharmacological activity or response of pharmacological drug concentration. And next is evaluation of bioequivalence. Means it is also important to check the bioequivalence between the drug or more than one type of drug. You easily compare a bioequivalence. You check with the help of this pharmacokinetic model. Next is understanding of DI, dose interval. These are the modeling useful or parameters that are useful for pharmacokinetic parameter. And this next is compartmental model. And in this, a compartmental is not a real physiological or anatomical region, but imaginary or hypothetical, one consisting of a tissue and group of tissue with similar blood flow and affinity. Means these compartmental model is not real based. Someone or are assuming or just taking the real imagination or real physiological anatomical region in imaginary way, means someone taking that these model are according to this anatomy or physiology of your body, and you imagine according to your body, you check the hypothetical or considering the particular group or tissue of your body with having a similar affinity of a blood flow or affinity of a drug to that particular tissue. And in our body is considered as a composed of several compartments connected reversibly with each other. So there's a different compartment in your body. You should know that kidney, lungs, liver, and these are interconnected to each other. So according to this interconnection or different compartment of our body, we considering this compartmental model parameter or several compartmental reversible with each other. And this, suppose this is a drug in your body or drug present in your body, and this is a KE. That is elimination and drug eliminated to your body. Maybe different tissue or maybe from different elimination rate. So this is a compartmental model. Advantages give visual representation of various rate process involved in drug deposition. Means it is also give the visual representation of visual information regarding the rate process are involved in the drug deposition. Next is the possible to derive equation describing the drug concentration change in each compartment. If you are taking multi-compartment or compartment according to your body, then these pharmacokinetic model is also give the information regarding the different compartment or drug concentration change in various compartment from one to another. And one can estimate the amount of a drug in any compartment of the system after drug is introduced into a given compartment. Means you can see that you can also check the amount of a drug or concentration of a drug in your compartment of the system after introducing in given compartment, after giving in a particular compartment in your body. And disadvantages of this pharmacokinetic model is this drug given by IV route or intravenous route behave accordingly to single compartmental model, where the same drug given by oral route or maybe show two compartment behavior. Means there's some problem to distinguish your formulation or same formulation when given by two different routes. Suppose you are giving your drug by IV route or intravenous route, then it shows single compartmental model or only one compartment in your body. But if you are giving these drugs in other than intravenous route or by extravascular route like oral route, then it shows two compartment or more than one compartmental behavior by the oral route. And next disadvantage is that the type of compartmental behavior in this example of type of compartmental model may change with route of administration. Means the compartmental model may be changed according to route of administration. Suppose you are giving your drug by IV route, then it will show the only one compartment or single compartmental model. If you are giving the drug by oral route, then it can show two compartmental model, or by any other route it may be show three compartmental model also. So there may be changes due to the route of administration. It show maybe one compartment or multi-compartment behavior also. These are the compartment in the central compartment and peripheral compartment. Central compartment is a blood highly perfused tissue like kidney, lungs, and liver type. And this tissue are mainly highly perfused. And the peripheral compartment is a poorly perfused tissue like bone, fat, these type of the tissue. And in this model, there's a two model. One is open model and second is a closed model. And in this open model itself means that administration of a drug or dose is removed from a body excretory mechanism. For most drug, organ of the excretion drug is from kidney. So there's two compartments, central and peripheral. Central and highly perfused. In this mainly we cover the kidney, lungs, liver type of the tissue. Second is peripherally, which is poorly perfused. In this fat or bone type of the tissue we mainly covered. And in model way, there's a two type of model. One is closed and second is open. In open itself, say that is an open or maybe we consider drug administered by the root or excretion takes place by kidney, or most of the excretion takes by the organ involving the kidney. So if there is an open model or show the open excretion, and if the drug is removed from the body, then model refers to a closed model. Means if the drug administration drug is removed from your body or removed out from your body, then this is called as closed model. In this drug product and drug in the blood and excretion, it is a one flow chart, and this is how the pharmacokinetic parameters takes place or what will show the effect. And this first is when taking the drug, or this is a drug product. After taking this drug goes in your blood or in your body. After reaching in a blood, it get excrete out or show the excretion by different route, or maybe there is a different parameter that may be observed after the reaching in your blood or in your body. So after drug in your blood, then there may be chances that your drug goes in your tissue, and it's a reversible process. After reaching the tissue, it may be again come back in your blood also. Then in tissue and receptor site, means drug in the blood may be present the tissue or particular receptor site, or this is also a reversible process. After reaching to this tissue and receptor, there may be chances that is again come back to inner blood. And next parameter that is also may be observed when drug in your blood is a metabolism, means drug directly metabolize. This is a irreversible process. Because your drug get metabolized, there are no chances that it again show the effect in your body. So these are the flowchart or parameters that show the effect of your drug. Means after the administration, it goes in your blood, then excrete out, and during drug in your blood having three parameters in the tissue. From the tissue and receptor side, these two are the reversible process, and one is metabolism, means after drug in blood and then the metabolism is also takes place. This is an irreversible process. Next is a loading dose. In this drug, dose does not show therapeutic activity unless it reaches to desired steady state. Means a therapeutic effect or the suitable therapeutic and pharmacological response is not desired or not see suitable or absorb required amount until it reaches to steady state. And it takes about 4 to 5 half-lives to attain it, and therefore time taken will be too long if the drug has a long half-life. Means you can also say that this have a 4 to 5 half-lives to attend it, or therefore time taken will be too long if a drug have a long half-life. And PET2 can be reached immediately after administering a dose that the desired steady state instantaneously before commencement of a maintenance dose X0. Means after reaching maximum effect or maximum therapeutic response, or time taken required half-life, it formed the one plateau, or these plateaus show the immediate response, or after administration of the drug, there's an immediate response as observed, and these response show the steady state. And before commencing the maintenance dose, it formed the plateau-like curve, or plateau is formed by this loading dose. And in this, such an initial or first dose is intended to be therapeutic is called as primary dose or loading dose, that is X0. So initial dose or starting dose or first dose, you can say that known as therapeutic dose or intended for therapeutic dose, because it showed the therapeutic response or a starting response of therapeutic is observed with the help of this single dose or first dose. So this is a priming dose of loading dose or also you can say that this first dose is also known as priming dose or loading dose, or noted down by X0. This is a primary dose. Next is the calculation part of this loading dose, or how you calculate this loading dose, because this loading dose is a very important parameter in this part, or in this pharmacokinetic model. In this, after extravascular administration, means not by IV route other than IV oral route or any other route administration, Cmax is always smaller than achieved by IV route, hence loading dose is proportionally smaller. Means in this calculation part, we just comparing your intravascular as well as extravascular route of the drug, because when you are administering a drug by extravascular route or not by IV route, then there may be chances that your required or maximum therapeutic response is not produced, because you are giving a drug by extravascular route or by oral route. So there may be chances that different processes takes place, or absorption is also takes place, and maximum effect is not observed, complete effect of that drug is not observed, or maybe it's small, comparatively small than your intravascular. And this effect is mainly compared with intravenous route or IV route. Hence, this loading dose is always smaller or less than your another loading dose when we are taking a drug by IV route. And in this, for the drug having a low therapeutic indices, the loading dose may be divided into small doses to given a various interval before the first maintenance dose. Means suppose you are required low therapeutic effect or low therapeutic response. In this, you divide your dose in different parts or in multiple doses, and you take these in different doses or smaller doses in a various interval of a time, or you take some gap between 1 to 2 doses or different dose interval. Then suppose you are taking a drug in a different interval or different time requirement. So in this condition, you can divide into different small doses or small type of the drug doses, and you take some time between 1 to 2 doses or interval between these 1 to 2 doses before taking the maintenance dose. And sample equation for calculating this loading dose is X01 is equals to CSS into AB into BB divided by F. This is the equation for calculating the loading dose. And X0 is the first dose or primary dose. CS is the concentration is steady state. In this calculation part, we continue with previous equation. B is not known, or volume of distribution we don't know, because we are taking a loading dose by extravascular route. And in loading dose may be calculated by following equation: X0 I divided by X0 K80. This is K80 is not from X0 side, is equals to 1 divided by 1 minus E minus K80 bracket close. In another bracket, 1 minus E minus K80 bracket close. So this is a modified formula of previous one equation. Next is a given equation applies when Ka is more than Ke. Hence absorption rate is always more than elimination rate, or more elimination is observed when you check this distributed rapidly or drug distributed in rapidly. When drug is given by IV or when absorption is extremely rapid, the absorption phase is neglected, and above equation reduces the accumulation index. This is for extravascular route, or when you give the drug by intravenously or by IV route, there's no absorption is observed, or absorption may be neglected, and it is not observed. And in this condition, you don't check these response or absorption rate. You directly check accumulation index, or you check the equation how much response is produced. Next is assumption. In this assumption, when compartmented, the drug in the body is in rapid equilibrium with drug in the extravascular tissue. Means you can say that drug is an equilibrium condition when taking the example of one compartment model, and in this blood is in rapid equilibrium and the drug in extravascular tissue present. And this is a not exact representation, however it is useful for number of a drug. Means this is not only important for single type of the drug or single drug, it is for number of a drug or its naval approximation. You just check number of a drug, and you calculate the approximate of or approximation of that particular drug. Next is a rapid mixing. In rapid mixing, we also need to assume that drug is mixed interchangeably in blood and as well as plasma. Means your drug completely very fast dissolving in plasma as well as in your blood, and you check mixture of this intertaneous mixing of blood of a drug in your blood as well as in plasma. Next is a linear model. We will assume that drug elimination follow first order kinetics for linear model, because linear model is mainly observed by the first order kinetics. So in this condition, we just assuming that the elimination follow first order kinetics. Sorry, not the zero order, but it's a first order kinetics. After completing this pharmacokinetic model or this lecture, there's a learning outcome or learning parameter that they should know about in this lecture. We already covered all the pharmacokinetic parameter, including the introduction, pharmacokinetic as well as dynamic parameter. So in learning outcome, first is introduction of a pharmacokinetic model. Means what are the pharmacokinetic model, including description and introduction part of this model, and a different parameter. In parameter, we mainly include pharmacokinetic and dynamic parameter, or different sub parameter of this pharmacokinetic and dynamic, including AUC, MEC, MSC, or onset of action, peak concentration, that is Cmax and Tmax. We already discussed all these parameters. These are the parameters of pharmacokinetic as well as dynamic parameter. Next is a type of compartmental. In this, you should know about different compartmental, including physiological model or non-compartmental model or different pharmacokinetic model. So in this, we know the different classification. I can see 4 types of a classification, and these 4 types again further divided into different subcategory or different classes. So you should know about these all the pharmacokinetic model or pharmacokinetic parameter. In learning outcome, after these learning outcome, there's a reference part. So these are some books or some site references which are the very good references, or all references are good. You can use any one of this reference or maybe all the reference for all good country. So in reference part, first is a biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetic, P. Madden, first edition. Second is a biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetic, D.M. Brahmankar and Sunil B. Jaiswal, first edition. Next is applied biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics, Leon Sarchel and Adrio, fourth edition. And next reference is biopharmaceutics and clinical pharmacokinetics by Milo Ghibaldi, fourth edition. There's a next is the site www.google.com, and next is www.books.google.com. So these are the reference regarding this pharmacokinetic model or pharmacokinetic parameter. All are sufficient reference for this topic. After this topic or reference part, next part is the question part, which is related to this topic, or we also include previous lecture information because we just continuing some pharmacokinetic model in this lecture. So if you know this complete information regarding this pharmacokinetic, including introduction and description part up to the modeling part, then you can easily answer these questions or you solve these questions. In this question, first is multi-compartmental model. Assume that all transfer process of the passage of a drug into the out of the individual compartment are the process. This A option is the first order, second is the second order, and third is the pseudo order, and fourth one is the third order. So out of this ABCD option, you can select any one correct order or correct option. And in second question, what does pharmacokinetics include? So in this, you should know about definition of the pharmacokinetic or pharmacokinetic means. And this A option is mechanism of a drug action. B is the localization of the drug action. C is the interaction of the substance, and D is the excretion of the substance. Means what is the pharmacokinetics, and the pharmacokinetic include which parameter? There's a 4 option out of this ABCD option. You can select any one correct option which is suitable or appropriate for your pharmacokinetic parameter or regarding the pharmacokinetic. Next, third question. What does pharmacokinetic include? Means in pharmacokinetic parameter, what you include? In first A option, drug biotransformation in the organism. B is the influence of a drug on metabolism process. C is the influence of a drug on genes. And D is the complication of a drug therapy. Next, in fourth question, parenteral administration is a too slow for emergency use. Laser cannot be used for unconscious patient. Is a generally result in less accurate doses than oral administration. These are usually produce a more rapid response than oral administration. So you know about what is parental root and different parental roots with the example. According to the parental root, you can select any one correct option out of this ABCD, which is correct or which is appropriate for parental root. Next and fifth question. Fat is act as a reservoir for which type of the drug? In this, A option is highly water soluble drug. B is lower lipid soluble drug. C is highly lipid soluble drug, and D is the lower lipid soluble drug. So, fat is also one factor or one reservoir which may be improve or reduce the effect of a drug or concentration of the drug. So, if you know the effect or response of the fat in your body, then you can easily answer these question or this fifth question related to release process. And next is the sixth question. In this, displacement is significant when the displaced drug is more than protein bound. In this, A is a 50%, B is a 95%, C is a 10%, and D is a 1%. Next, in seventh question, in one compartmental open model, the term open indicates input and output are. We already discussed the different compartmental model, including one compartment, two compartment, three compartment. So this question is regarding the one compartment, and if you are considering one compartmental model, then you can answer this question. In this, we mainly know that what is input and output rate and how we compare. In this, A option is unidirectional, B is a bidirectional, C is non-directional, and D is tridirectional. The next eighth question is linear pharmacokinetics, also referred as a linear pharmacokinetic you should know, and if you know this, then you can answer this question according to different kinetics reaction. In this, A option is the first order kinetics, B is the second order kinetics, C is the pseudo order kinetics, and D is the third order kinetics. Next is ninth question. In this, pharmacokinetic is the study of absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of the drug. It is a study of biological therapeutic effect of the drug. And C is a study of method of a new drug development. And D is a study of mechanism of drug action. So these are the four options, or you can say definition of pharmacokinetic or pharmacokinetic include which parameter. We already discussed it very briefly or descriptively in pharmacokinetic, then you answer this question. And in 10th question, it's composed of a group tissue with lower perfusion and different affinity for the drug, shows slow distribution. In this case, a central compartment, B is a peripheral compartment, and these are both peripheral and central compartment. This the none means ABC, all the options are incorrect. So these are the 10 questions that is related to your topic or regarding the pharmacokinetic model or pharmacokinetic parameter or different pharmacokinetic compartment. After completing this lecture, you can easily answer these questions or are related to this topic or to this lecture. So thank you so much for watching and listening this video. Thank you.